There's something about the sound of cooing pigeons in the early morning that you can't quite explain to someone who's never lived it. The soft rhythm of wings brushing the air, the quiet presence of life waking up a loft. It's not just a routine. It's a feeling, a memory, a part of who you are. If you've ever walked into your loft and felt the world go silent for a moment, you already know. This isn't a hobby. This is home. The first time I stepped into my grandfather's loft, I was 7 years old. The smell hit me first, a mixture of fresh wood shavings, grain, and something else I couldn't name then, but now know as the scent of dedication. Dust motes danced in a morning light streaming through the small windows, and there was this symphony of gentle sounds, the rustle of feathers, the soft scratch of claws on perches, the occasional flutter of wings, stretching in the dawn. My grandfather moved through this space like he was walking through a cathedral, his weathered hands gentle as he checked each bird, his voice low and soothing as he murmured to them in that special language that only pigeon fanciers truly understand. "You see, boy," he said to me that first morning, his eyes twinkling with the kind of wisdom that comes from decades of loving something completely, "these aren't just birds. They're family. They're teachers. They're miracles with wings." I didn't understand then what he meant, but I felt it in my bones, this pull, this magnetic connection to these creatures that seemed to bridge the gap between earth and sky with such effortless grace. People outside this world might see a pigeon and think it's just another bird. They don't understand the hours you've spent cleaning, observing, watching every detail, from how a young one holds its tail to how a seasoned flyer lands with quiet confidence. They don't see how you remember your birds not by ring numbers, but by how they look at you, how they behave when it rains, how their feathers ruffle when they're excited. Each one is a story, a heartbeat, a companion. There's Lightning with her distinctive silver blue plumage and the way she tilts her head when she's thinking. She's the one who taught me patience because she was the last to learn to fly properly, circling the loft for weeks before she finally gained the confidence to venture beyond the safety of home. There's Thunder, her mate, who has this habit of puffing up his chest whenever I approach, not out of aggression, but out of pride, as if he's saying, "Look at what I've accomplished, look at my family, look at how far I can fly." And then there's Whisper, the smallest hen in my loft, whose quiet determination has won more races than birds twice her size. She doesn't make a fuss, doesn't demand attention, but when release day comes, she's always among the first to disappear into the morning sky, her wings cutting through the air with surgical precision. Watching her fly is like watching poetry in motion. Each wing beat deliberate and powerful, each turn calculated with the kind of intelligence that humbles you. The seasons mark time differently when you're a pigeon fancier. Spring brings the excitement of new breeding pairs, the anticipation of eggs, the careful monitoring of nests. You learn to read the subtle signs, the way a hen settles differently when she's about to lay, the protective stance of a cock bird guarding his territory, the delicate dance of courtship that happens in the quiet corners of a loft. Summer is training season, when you gradually extend the distances, watching your birds grow stronger and more confident with each flight. You wake before dawn to transport them to release points, your heart racing with the same excitement you felt as a child on Christmas morning. Autumn is racing season, when all that preparation pays off. The phone calls to other fanciers comparing notes on wind conditions and weather patterns. The careful selection of which birds to enter in which races, weighing experience against youth, stamina against speed. The nervous energy that fills the loft on shipping day, as you carefully crate your chosen competitors, whispering words of encouragement and safe passage. Winter is the time for reflection, for planning next year's breeding program, for the quiet satisfaction of birds at rest, their metabolisms slowing down, their feathers thickening against the cold. But beyond the seasons, beyond the cycles of breeding and racing, there are the moments that define what this life really means. Like the time I found a week-old squab that had fallen from its nest, tiny and helpless, barely alive. I spent 3 weeks hand-feeding it every 2 hours, warming it under a heat lamp, watching it grow from a helpless pink creature into a fully feathered youngster. When it finally flew for the first time, circling the loft with the pure joy of discovery, I understood what my grandfather meant about miracles with wings. And then there's that one moment, you know the one, when a bird goes missing. It doesn't come home. You stand by the window, eyes fixed on the horizon, telling yourself not to hope, but you do. You always do. The clock ticks past the expected arrival time, and your heart starts to sink. Other birds have already returned, settling into their evening routines, but there's that one empty perch, that one missing face in the crowd. You replay the morning in your mind. Was something wrong? Did you miss a sign? Should you have held that bird back? The hours stretch into darkness, and you find yourself checking the loft every few minutes, hoping against hope that you'll find them there, quietly eating, as if nothing had happened. You call other fanciers, asking if anyone has seen a bird matching your description. You post on forums, share photos, reach out to the network of people who understand what it means to lose a part of your heart to the sky. Sleep comes fitfully, if at all, and you wake with the sun, rushing to the loft with that mixture of hope and dread that every pigeon fancier knows. And when it finally returns tired, maybe hurt, maybe late, but still flying, still coming home, something inside you breaks and heals at the same time. That's when you understand, this is more than racing. This is love. It's the kind of love that doesn't ask for anything in return, that finds joy in the simple act of providing care and sanctuary for creatures that could choose to fly away and never return, but instead choose to come home to you, day after day, year after year. The non-believers, the ones who've never felt the weight of a pigeon settling trustingly in their hands, often ask about the practical aspects. What's the point, they say. They're just pigeons. But they don't understand that these birds are living links to a tradition that stretches back centuries, connecting us to miners in Belgium, to soldiers in 2 world wars, to farmers and factory workers and kings who all share this same passion. They don't understand that each bird carries within it the genetic memory of countless journeys, the accumulated wisdom of generations of navigation, the living embodiment of the miracle of homing. Most people think the prize is the trophy, the applause, the name in a magazine. But for us, the prize is that quiet moment at sunset when they're all back in the loft, preening, eating, resting, and you know they're safe. The prize is the journey you take with them, one training at a time. It's the unspoken trust between you and a creature that can fly hundreds of kilometers and still find its way back to your hands. It's the satisfaction of knowing that you've created a sanctuary, a place where these remarkable birds can express their natural instincts while feeling completely secure. The prize is in the details that others never see. The way a young bird learns to drink from a fountain, initially afraid of the water, then gradually gaining confidence until it becomes second nature. The way breeding pairs work together to raise their young, taking turns on the nest, sharing the responsibilities of parenthood with a devotion that puts many humans to shame. The way an old champion, past its racing prime, still commands respect from the younger birds, still carries itself with the dignity of a creature that has seen the world from heights most of us can only imagine. And maybe the world will never truly understand what it feels like to raise a pigeon from a tiny, helpless chick to a fearless flyer. Maybe they won't understand why you talk to them, why you name them, why you remember every bird that never made it back. The memorial corner in many lofts, where the rings and photos of lost birds are kept, tells a story of love that transcends the boundary between species. Each ring represents not just a bird, but a relationship, a series of shared experiences, a life that touched yours in ways that can't be measured or quantified. But if you're watching this, maybe you do. Maybe this life is inside you too. Maybe you understand what it means to wake up at dawn not because you have to, but because you want to, because there's something magical about being the first person your birds see each morning. Maybe you know the satisfaction of a loft in perfect order, every perch occupied, every bird healthy and content. Maybe you felt that surge of pride when one of your birds wins a race, not because of the glory, but because of what it represents, the culmination of careful breeding, patient training, and the mysterious alchemy that turns a good pigeon into a great one. So, here's to the real pigeon fanciers, the quiet ones, the passionate ones, the ones who still get goosebumps when a bird lands after a long flight. The ones who understand that true success isn't measured in trophies or prize money, but in the depth of the relationship you build with these remarkable creatures. The ones who know that every morning in the loft is a gift, every safe return a small miracle, every new generation a promise that this ancient partnership between human and pigeon will continue into the future. This video is for you, because only we understand what it truly means to love a pigeon. And in loving them, we discover something profound about ourselves, about loyalty, about the beauty of dedicating your life to something greater than yourself. In the quiet moments of the early morning loft, surrounded by the gentle sounds of life awakening, we find not just a hobby, but a calling, a purpose, a home for the heart that can only be understood by those who share it.